morning. How is everybody? Yes, I'm in the car again. Please don't judge. It's really the time that I get to talk to you guys, and it's been pretty hectic around here, to say the least. Today's topic is the iWatch. Yes, I'm wearing it. Uh, One of the last people that you would ever think that would wear an iWatch. I am seriously an analog watch person. I have high-end watches, medium-end watches. I've been a watch fanatic since the time I can remember, since way back when I was a young teenager. I grew up around having parents that were very much into luxury watches. I won't name brands, but they were massively expensive. And so I was always told that the Swiss-made watches, let's just say, are the best, and you can't get any better than that, and blah, 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 blah. On and on it went, and even in the days, I guess in the 70s, when the first digital watches came out, sorry guys, I think I'm a little lopsided here. Digital watches came out. My father, I think, bought one time just to try it out as a toy. Had it on his wrist maybe for like, a week or so, and laughed at it, and obviously went back to what he knew best, and that was wearing his analog watches. So that's the background that I wanted to let you guys know of. I wasn't a massive supporter of the iWatch. I also thought that it was a toy, it was a fun to have, it was a techie geek gadget, and not something that I would want to wear on my wrist, all the time. So fast forward, the topic today is why would you want to get an iWatch, and should you get one if you are in my age bracket? So the older, mature community is what I am gearing this topic to. There are plenty of iWatch reviews out there on YouTube, hundreds of them, given by young males in their teens and early 20s on how great it is and what it does for their lives and how they use it. And that's good and fine for them, but there are a lot of people in the mature community, men and women, so this is both for men and women obviously, that might be thinking about getting an iWatch. It's not it's not cheap. You will plunk down a few $100s. I think it's like close to $500. I'm not sure. And then, of course, pairing it with your iPhone and all of that. Then there's accessories as far as bands are concerned. So it's not cheap. It's not like you go out and buy a watch for, $40 or $50. This is a commitment. And if you don't like it, you've just thrown away a few $100. And, it's not something that people want to think about doing. I, again, thought of this topic more for the older crowd, and why you might want to consider it, what benefits I found. I've been wearing this now for about close to a month. I think it's been a month, and at first I was like, well, I'm just going to borrow it from my son. My son was the one that actually brought it home. He had gotten a good deal through some friends who recently got, I think, the iPhone, the one with the one that you can use alone as a watch. You don't have to take your iPhone with you, so it's got built-in communication. So they basically didn't need this watch, and sold it for a good price to my son, who bought it. And I just picked it up one day as a joke to see what this is all about. And I asked him to pair it with my phone for a day, And by the end of the day, I said, oh, can I have it for another day? And by the end of the second day, I said to him, can I have it for the rest of the week? I really want to figure this out and maybe download a couple of apps. And he just smiled at me. He goes, Mom, you're starting to like this phone. What's with the electronic phone, and he knows well that I'm a big analog watch person. So he was just laughing his butt off, thinking that this was the funniest thing that I had, gone to the dark side. So what are the pros? Okay, and there's some cons, and I'll get into that. But one of the pros is health, of course. At our age, monitoring our health is important. You can get monitoring, of course, if you're wearing like a Fitbit, or any Garmin, or any other type of bracelet accessory, electronic bracelet accessory that communicates with your iPhone or your Android. You can set that up, and sure, they have things fashionable for ladies and men, of course, different bands, and etc., etc. I've had the Fitbit in the past, and I really liked it. I've had some other gizmo. I can't even remember the name now. I made a video of it, and it was out of China, and it was okay, but I always found it lagging as far as the apps were concerned. On the iPhone, it wasn't very informative. It wasn't very intuitive, and I would have to charge it, of course, I think one of them was every 3 to 4 days. I believe the Fitbit lasted me about 4 days before a charge. And the other one, the Chinese one, was pretty good. That one lasted me about a week, if not more, on a charge. But nevertheless, there was just something lacking, and I was wearing two devices then. I was wearing the Fitbit, or this fitness tracker, let's just say, on my right hand consistently, and then I was still wearing an analog watch on my left hand, because the Fitbit and the other Chinese one did not have a watch function, so I was not able to tell the time on that. It was a strict fitness tracker. It said steps, calories burned, and I think miles walked, and that was about it. I believe it also had my pulse on the Fitbit. It did have my pulse, if I can remember, but it did not have a time feature that I saw. I mean, it would have it in the iPhone app, and I could be wrong, but I don't remember it having a time. I don't think, I don't recall that I could check the time on it, only my actual activities on it. So that was always a kind of like, oh, I'm wearing two things, blah, blah, blah. And, I wore it quite a long time. I did see a benefit out of it, but like anything, I got kind of bored with wearing two things, and then one time it wasn't monitoring right anymore, and I started just basically throwing it into my drawer and not charging it, not wearing it, and after a while I just said, forget about it, and basically chucked it. So that's my background on fitness trackers. So fast forward, I get this iPhone, and the first thing I like about it, guys, is it has these, it's very appealing, very graphical. It's got 3 rings, and I'll show you guys up here somewhere, inserts of the watch, because it'll be easier just taking a picture of it and showing you guys. There are 3 rings. It's basically got like a red ring, a blue ring, and a green ring, if I remember, or yellow. And it shows you different activity levels. One shows you how much you've walked. The other shows you how much actual physical exercise, formal exercise that you've done. And that, I think, is monitored through your heart rate and escalation of your heart rate for a certain length of time. And then the third ring shows you how much you've stood. Now, the standing is interesting because as a person that works full-time, and I've got, I'm sitting in a cubicle all the time, and I get bogged down, and I think you guys can relate to this, especially if you guys are on the computer a lot during the day for whatever reason. You get bogged down in a certain project, and you're doing something, and a couple of hours can go by and you're so into it, into the moment of doing whatever it is that you're doing on the computer, that you're not concentrating on, shoot, I haven't stood up in like 3 hours or whatever. And I'll get like a little, almost like a zap on this. It's like a tingly zap. I could border it on annoying, but I won't say it's annoying, but it's definitely, you feel it. It's like a rubber band kind of snapping you on the wrist, and it'll have a very light little bell sound to it, and it'll say, time to stand up, let's stand up. And I'll roll my eyes because it's so hokey, but you know what? I make it an effort. I actually stand up and I walk around, and then it understands that you've activated, that you've started to walk around. I guess built on the based on the built-in GPS. And in about like 30 seconds as you're walking around, like I use it to, go to the restroom while at work, or get a cup of coffee, or just walk to the break room or whatever, or go talk to a colleague. And within about 30-40 seconds, it will have a nice little cool little happy bell sound, and I'll say, hey, good job, you stood up, yay, clap, clap, clap kind of thing. And it does motivate you. So I feel like, okay, if you are elderly or if you are mature and you tend to be sedentary, this will kind of motivate you to stand up and start moving again and doing things. Of course, there are these automatic achievements, so you will, as these rings are progressing around, and they actively update, especially if you tap on them. They encircle and enclose, and then sometimes they'll even go around, another time if I've over achieved, let's just say, that day for my activity level. It's kind of a fun feeling to see the progress and to kind of challenge yourself daily to fill those circles in. And my activity for walking around is usually spot on. I usually do fill that up. My standing, some days I don't make it, some days I do make it. Most of the time, I would say about 3 to 4 times out of a week, I do make my standing ring close up or complete. My activity formal exercise ring, the middle ring, is the one that's the most challenging for me because I don't have a formal exercise program. I know, smack me over the head, but with my lifestyle and my being a Q brat all day, I don't really, once I get home, I'm exhausted. I do some housework, but I sit down on the computer again. I start editing some of my videos at night. So yeah, this is something that I need to work on personally. And now what I do like about it is that it actually has shown me in a trend that, hey, you're doing good in your walking, you're doing good standing up, but girlfriend, you got to move your butt, and you got to start, working out or doing something formally where your heart rate goes up for a certain amount of time because you're lacking in that department. So again, it's a very good visual for people our age to kind of maybe you thought you were more active than you really are, and now you're seeing, that's not really good. I mean, maybe I need to change something here. Okay. Now moving on to some other things. Text, for example. A lot of older people, more mature as I am getting, I'm finding it harder, of course, to read small text. Your eyesight starts going as far as your reading ability, and a lot of people our age would say, well, I can hardly read those tiny little numbers and tiny little text, and I don't know if I can read it on my wrist. Well, there is in the settings where you can make your text larger and smaller, and again, I will put up a small video, or at least a picture up here of how that is done. And it does blow up the text. Now sometimes, you know, you're going to have to start scrolling, because obviously not enough words are in a, you know, in that little box on your wrist that you can read. But if you need quickly to glance at a text message or a phone number or a contact information, blowing up the text on the settings will help you. And I've had no problems. I keep it on a probably like a medium setting for my text size, my font size, and I've had no problems. I wear contact lenses, which I'm nearsighted, so I read beautifully close up without my contact lenses. I can't see a blessed thing more than 5 feet away, but when I'm wearing my contact lenses, I do lose the ability to see up close a little bit, so I do struggle with text reading, and I do appreciate that I can set the text a little larger. So that's number 2. Number 3 is third-party apps, or apps that you can download. One of them is a water app, and again, I will link the name down below here for the actual app, name of the actual app. It's like a water app that engages you. It's highly motivating. I really like it, and it's so simple. It's really 2 taps. They have pictures or little icons, cutest little icons of the type of beverage that you are consuming, whether it's coffee, water, soda, wine, Gatorade, tea, bouillon, even like soup, you name it, they've got it as a little icon, and you just tap that, and then you add the ounces that you have consumed, which is very, very easy to do. I'm gonna, by the way, pull in here because I haven't finished talking to you guys yet, so I'm just gonna pull in here very quickly. So very easy to sit there with it on your wrist. You just pull up the app. It's, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist at all to figure it out. You tap on the picture, and then you tap on how much you have, how many ounces you have taken in, and it has a cool animation, guys, of it filling up, like the little water like chugs. And again, it's a reminder for me. I am I do hydrate. I do want to hydrate, but I've noticed, and maybe this has alerted me a little bit, that maybe I don't do as great a job as I think I do. I think I do a fairly good job, and I drink coffee, and I drink, you know, water throughout the day. But I've noticed, and I've set mine, you can set different ounces, what your total is for the day. So they default to about 50 ounces for the day for drinking water or hydrating. And I've actually set my app to 60 ounces. I wanted to get about 10 more ounces in, just because I really want to hydrate. And I've noticed it is a challenge, guys, to get that 60 ounces daily in there. At the end of the day, I'm at maybe 45 or 48 ounces, and I have to, like, shoot, you know, I really want to get that accolade or achievement for the day that I got my water intake in. So I'll go ahead and I'll have another, you know, I'll have a glass of milk, or I'll have some water at night, or something, you know, to hydrate me. So again, for people that are watching their health and their water intake, a very, very nice app to have. So really, really liking that, guys. What else? If you wear it at night, it does have a sleeping pattern and a trend that you can look at. I have not personally used the sleep app. I know some people that have, and they swear by it. They see trends on how well they're sleeping and all of that. I tend to just charge my phone at night and I take it off, so I can't speak to that. What else can I tell you guys that I like about it? If you have a problem reading, again, text or numbers, you can make the watch face very simplistic with very large numerals. So it is very easy for those with challenges to read numerals, or read larger letters, or challenge to read smaller letters, you can set your watch numerals to be as large as you want. It nags you for a lot of things. There's a lot of apps that you can put on there. Again, third-party apps. The how do you call it, the beats per minute, so your heart rate app, I find that very helpful. I actually, this was an interesting quick story. Recently I was on antibiotics, as you guys know, one for my pneumonia and the other for my dog bite. And I was being active. I was walking around and doing things. I think I was doing things around the house. I was cleaning around the house one weekend, and I had my blood, blood, not pressure, but the beats per minute. I had it as a complication on one of my watch faces, so I could see my heartbeat and how fast it was going. And all of a sudden, and I wasn't doing much, honestly, guys, I was just cleaning dishes and things like that, and my heart rate went pretty high up. It went like 115 beats per minute or 118, and I felt a little lightheaded, and it alerted me to, hey, maybe take a break, sit down for a couple of minutes because you're stressing yourself. And I noticed, because I was on medication, apparently, and obviously still sick, I didn't realize that I was kind of pushing myself a little bit, and that alerted me to sit down, take it easy, and I monitored my my beats per minute on my heart rate to make sure that it went back down, I think to the 80s or 70s, before I continued and stood up again. And so again, for our age group, I've heard stories where this one gentleman, I think he was in the news recently, that the iWatch saved his life because his beats per minute went up to like over 150. It was crazy, and he wasn't doing anything unusual. And I think there's an alarm that you can set, an actual health alarm setting, where if your beats per minute goes sky high, it will actually alert you, and you can call like 911 or whatever. And his wife called the 911 and the ambulance, and he was having a major heart episode, like a heart attack or something, and it literally saved his life. So there's a lot of really good health benefits to wearing the watch that I've started to learn, and kind of experienced on my own. My son is a type 1 diabetic, and rumor has it that very soon, if not with the iWatch 4, if not built into the iWatch 4, but at least maybe a third-party watch band, might start bringing out blood glucose monitoring through the sensors in the actual watch band itself. Now, I'm not wearing, I'm just wearing this one here. It's a silver one, but you'll be able to buy third-party watch bands that have sensors built in for various health concerns, such as blood glucose or even blood pressure. Now, the iWatch right now, from what I'm remembering, does not do blood pressure. There might be a third-party app that you can download, but then you need a third-party little maybe finger gizmo or something that you use, and that transmits that information to the app that then is visible on your phone. But there's no built-in sensor right now just for blood pressure. Again, there's no built-in sensor for blood glucose either, but it would be an absolute game changer if there was a third-party watch band that would start coming out with that feature. Right now, my son is using the just FYI, in case anybody needs to know, the Freestyle Libre, and that is a device that is a little tiny disc that he pops onto his arm, and then he can wand it, basically scan it with the device, and it instantly tells his blood glucose numbers, but it's still invasive. It's still under the skin. It's not unpleasant to attach, but it's not pleasant either. It's just something that we have to, remember to do every 10 days, etc., etc. And something that he could wear on his wrist, and be non-invasive, be a cool device, be very, I would say stealth, that it wouldn't call attention to the fact that he's got diabetes. Because right now with this patch on his arm, if he's wearing a short sleeve shirt, obviously you can see the patch. And for him to wear a watch, a cool iWatch, and nobody even realize or call attention to the fact that he's diabetic would be absolutely divine. And I'm really hoping and praying that Apple does go on board with that and gets FDA approval and comes out with that. Again, for our age group, if you are a type 2 diabetic, I'm not a diabetic, but elderly people start to develop blood glucose issues and challenges. And even for trending pre-diabetics, if you don't have officially been diagnosed with diabetes, but let's just say you're wearing the watch and you tend to start to check your blood glucose as a part of your health or iHealth Vault program, and it's monitoring your blood glucose levels. And let's just say you're starting to see where, if you're having pasta or pizza or something that's high glycemic in value, and you're starting to see trends on very high blood glucose levels going up or spiking on your watch, trending up for a few months, you might have a chat with your doctor. You might send them a log, maybe like a transcript log downloaded from the iCloud from your watch, and say, hey, Dr. So-and-so, I've been seeing this and it's spiking. Do you think I need to come in? Do we need to talk about my blood sugars? And this could diagnose a lot of pre-diabetics that don't even have a clue, and they're feeling something, or they're feeling off, but they're not sure why they're feeling a little off in their health. They might be tired, they might be a little bit thirsty, etc., etc. This could really alert a lot of people, hey, get this stuff checked out. Same thing with blood pressure. Let's say they have a third party a band or watch band that comes out, and it's monitoring your blood pressure, and you don't realize that you've had high blood pressure issues. You don't feel anything, because blood pressure is really a very stealth thing in your body. You don't really feel it till it's kind of too late, and you keel over. But someone that might be trending and starting to have high blood pressure issues could again alert their doctor and say, hey, the past couple of months I've been seeing that my blood pressure in the morning or certain times of the day is going up. Should I be concerned? Things like that. So I think this opens up, guys, the door to a lot of health monitoring for our age group and older. And I see this as the future. I really do. So has it been a game changer for me? It's not a game changer in that my health, except for the blood beats per minute that it alerted me to, I don't have any real other health issues other than wanting to be more active and more healthy, hydrating more, and walking around more. So that's what I'm using it for. I do think there's a lot of cool, fun aspects. Obviously, one of the things real quickly that I'll mention, because this videos running long, is the ability to check my email alerts, of course, and texting. If I'm in the break room, I don't have to really bring my phone with me. I can just discreetly check my watch if my son is bothering me and alerting me and pinging me, of course, for money or going to somebody with some friends or hanging out. He usually texts me and says, hey, I'm going to lunch with so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And I can quickly respond. You can do the Dick Tracy talking into it. It's pretty damn accurate as far as talking into it. I haven't had any real major issues of it mispronouncing or misunderstanding what I've said. There is a little scribbly feature that you can do to it. That's not very helpful. It has some canned responses, which are very helpful, as a matter of fact, like, okay, see you later, talk to you soon, driving now, can't talk, or whatever. And you can customize that through your app. And again, I'll show you that over here real quickly. You can go ahead and customize those little canned responses so that you have it built into your watch, and you can just tap on it very quickly, send a canned response back to the person that you want to respond to, and be done with it. And you don't need to make a huge deal out of responding to them. I have my Outlook email, my work Outlook email attached into an app, and it's going into my iWatch now. So if I'm in the break room, or even in the first thing in the morning, or last thing at night, I know I shouldn't be, on the clock checking, but I do check my work email if it's buzzing. It will alert me when I get new email, so I can be on top of things. I can see if I need to respond to something immediately to someone. And again, I can either use a canned response, or I can do my Dick Tracy talk back very quickly and send an email back to, especially like my boss or a customer that I'm dealing with, and get that responded to quickly before I need to pull out my iPhone or sit down to a computer and bang out a response. So that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to tell you. Am I a fan of it? Absolutely, definitely. Will I give up my analog watches? No, I will not. I will definitely keep them and wear them. And I will share this watch right now with my son. If the iWatch 4 comes out with any whiz-bang features, especially towards health, that I deem necessary, and especially if it's a glucose monitor, I will be in the frickin' Apple line at the store the next day, and I will buy my son that watch the very next day. I don't care. I'll put it on a credit card and pay it off monthly if I have to get him the blood glucose monitoring, because again, that will be a game changer. So again, I hope this was helpful for you guys, especially for our age group. Like I said, mature community. Leave me your comments below on what you like or don't like about the watch. Have you tried it? What apps you like? And if there are any really specific apps for our age group and health apps that you would like to mention, we would all love to hear that and appreciate it below in the comments below. And that's it. I love you guys very much. Have a blessed day today. Go out and do something productive and pay it forward to someone. And I love you all. Big smooches. And I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.